What's up, YouTube? Back again with another video. I noticed the background is different from what y'all usually used to. Usually I'm in the driveway or in the garage messing with one of the cars. But I thought this was fitting, you know, for what the video is going to cover today. I've been getting a lot of questions in DMs and messages about what do I do for work. People are wondering how I afford the cars that I have and how do I afford the bills that I have. You know, I'm a 29-year-old single man, no kids, you know, and I, you know, just provide myself with the life that I want to live for myself. I do hold my Class A CDL. I am a heavy wrecker operator. A heavy wrecker is basically a semi-truck that is a tow truck. You know, I'm the guy that goes, like when semi-trucks break down on the side of the road, I'm the guy that goes and, you know, tows the semi-trucks. Or you got guys that go off in the trees, you know, running off the road. I'm the guy that goes and save them. I've had my CDL since 2020. Got it for free during COVID. So they had this thing called the COVID Care Act going on, and I'm calling around the different CDL schools because at this point I'm ready to pay for it out of pocket because I was turning wrenches. I was a diesel mechanic before I started driving semi-trucks, and I was just over turning wrenches. So with that being said, you know, I'm the type that's going to take initiative to my future, you know, to try to better myself, to open up that next door for myself. You know, I'm not going to wait around and, you know, wait for the opportunity or wait for a handout. I'm going to go get it by any means necessary. So basically I'm calling around to different schools, and I called this one school called Sage Truck Driving School. Shout out to Sage Truck Driving School in Muncie, Indiana. You know, they hooked your boy up with this CDL for free. And I started CDL school, got the funding for free, and graduated with my CDL, got all my endorsements. I had my tankers, doubles and triples, and my hazmat endorsement. Got my first job with my CDL, and it was delivering fruit to grocery stores. Worst job I've ever had, not gonna lie to y'all. That first year of trucking was real hard. Dude, they was like taking advantage of me because I was a new driver, so I didn't really know, you know, how the trucking industry was going, you know. But that first job, you know, I definitely learned a lot. I'm not going to mention the company because I'm not the one to try to, you know, drag a company down, you know, but I basically stayed there for my couple months that I was there, you know, just enough time to, you know, be able to lead them to get me like a more local job where I was home every day. Because with that job that I had, it was like I'd probably be home like every other day, you know, because I wasn't making it back in time because I had to go out to different grocery stores and like in Illinois, Iowa and stuff like that to go and deliver, you know. So by the time I got done doing my deliveries for the day, I didn't have enough time to make it back home. So I was doing my 10-hour recess out on the road. From that point on, I had left Indianapolis Fruit. I just said the company. Well, whatever. But I left them, and then I went to JB Hunt, did intermodal, where I was driving from Indianapolis to Chicago every day doing intermodal. Definitely was a cool gig, easy money. I was bringing home like $13 to $1,500 a week after taxes, so money was good, no complaints, you know what I'm saying? I've always, you know, I'm always on the hunt for more money, which is not always a good thing, you know. Just chasing the money is not always good, y'all. Sometimes you gotta, you know, have that balance of, you know, having that time for yourself versus making X amount, like high dollar amount of money, you know what I'm saying? So once I was at JB Hunt for a year, I ended up leaving JB Hunt and I went to this dry bulk pneumatic company. I did dry bulk tankers. I did that for a year. Stayed with them for a year. Easy money, cool job. I've always like once again, I want to hunt for more money. So I've always wanted to get into heavy wrecking, but I never knew how to get into it. It just always seemed like whenever I asked somebody, they couldn't give me a definite answer on how to get into a heavy wrecker. But I'm going to tell y'all how to get into it, because it's not as complicated as people like made it seem. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, I think I was just running into a lot of gatekeepers that didn't really want to let me know how to get in, which was cool. I'm not tripping about it. You feel me? I'm gonna figure out a way. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. It's this simple. Because after I got done with the dry bulk company, I went and got into a heavy wrecker. All I did was apply. Not even, no joke. I applied to the company that I'm at now. Got the interview, which I always feel like if I go into an interview, I'm getting a job no matter what. That's just the type of person I am. I'm going to get the job. You know what I'm saying? Basically, did the interview. They offered me the job on the spot. I do know for a fact my mechanical background had something to do with them offering me the position, but they offered me the position right on the spot. I took it. You know what I'm saying? They trained me. I didn't have no experience as far as knowing how to hook up trucks and how to chain them down properly so they don't come off the back of my underlift. Had no experience in that. They taught me all of that. Shout out to the company I work for. They took a chance on your boy, and they opened up the door for me and got me where I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Forever grateful for that. It'd be the smallest opportunities, that be so life-changing. You feel me? Currently, I've been here for going on 2 years now, and no complaints about the company. Great company, great equipment. They gave me a 2023, Wrecker 389 Peterbilt. Chicken lights everywhere. Just a real nice truck. No complaints. So I'm gonna show y'all a picture of the truck. I'm gonna show y'all a video of the truck right now. But yeah, that's what I do. I drive a heavy wrecker. I make good money. Over 100K a year. And I'm home every day. But it's a money chase job. I'm not paid hourly. I'm paid by commission. So I'm hustling, which I don't mind. I don't mind getting in the truck. I don't mind doing 6-7 tows a day. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? And also, this is a job where you got the typical truck driving job where you just sitting in the truck and you would drive for 10-11 hours a day. I didn't like that. This job is a nice physical job. I'm able to get out the truck, be active, get under the truck. I'm pulling drive shafts or throwing chains and buying it, whatever. I'm able to be active. I'm not just sitting in a truck for 6-7 hours a day, which I don't think I could ever go back to that. I could never go back to just being a steering wheel holder, because it's boring. Working this job, I get to experience something every day. I get to hook up different trucks every day. You find out different ways to hook them up differently, to try to challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Every truck could be different. You just learn from it. I love doing recoveries. Every recovery is different. It's gonna be a different challenge, and I like being challenged. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like being challenged, you would never progress, because that's just what it is. You gotta put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You know what I'm saying? And once you conquer that uncomfortable situation, that's another little medal under your belt of a situation that you have figured out. You feel me? But I do appreciate y'all for coming and watch this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I know I don't do a lot of trucking content. I do release a lot of car content, but if this is something y'all want to see more, whether me hooking up, towing, recoveries and stuff like that, let me know. I definitely, I'm open to, posting more trucking content. I'm just kind of a little private about this side of my life. But I'm willing to open up to y'all if this is what y'all want to see. But thanks again for coming to watch this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you need any advice on how to get your CDL or how to get into the trucking industry, or any questions about CDL, trucking, or anything, feel free to hit me up. Message me. I got my socials linked. Go follow me on Instagram, or whatever. Shoot me a message. I'm going to always respond. You know what I'm saying? I want to always see people do better. You feel me? But once again, thank y'all for coming to watch this video. Y'all have a good day. Peace.